The newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. President Bongbong Marcos has ordered concerned agencies to begin preparing for the onset of El Nino. The government highlighted the importance of raising awareness on the effects of El Nino, which is expected to come in the second half of the year. This so the public may also prepare for how it may affect the supply of water and power in the country.
Sinotis niya kanina na dapat magkaroon tayo ng public awareness campaign. Simulan dapat ng mga government agencies, institutions, including mga public institutions ng mga eskwelahan or schools, na magtipid na agad ng tubig bago pa lumala yung problema natin na inaasahan according to Pag-asa.
The President has also tasked the National Irrigation Authority to monitor situations at dams across the country. This as lack of rain during the El Nino may lead to lower water levels at the country's reservoirs.
Ang pinakamabisa po kasi na flood control project is water management. So ito yung pag-construct po ng mga impounding dams, small river impounding projects.
However, Pag-asa warns that prior to the dry season, the country may experience heavy rains similar to those of Tropical Storm Ondoy.
So generally, up to September, may mga ulan po tayong inaasahan. Malalakas na pag-ulan over the western sections. And kung tatanungin po ninyo, yung peak ng maraming bagyo for El Nino events ay nangyayari po during the month of July.
The Environment and Health Departments report that 26 out of 35 sampling stations in Puerto Galera failed to meet water quality standards. Though there's no official advice yet on whether the famous tourist spot will be shut down, the Tourism Department warns that doing so will result in daily losses of at least 5.3 million pesos. Here's the report.
26 out of 35 sampling stations in Puerto Galera have failed to pass water quality standards due to high levels of oil and grease. That's the result of the latest water quality test conducted by the Environment Department in the municipality. In a joint statement, the DOH and DNR noted that only 9 sampling stations met the criteria under the Water Quality Guidelines and General Effluent Standards of 2016. Despite this, Environment Secretary Tony Yulo Loizaga says banning of water activities will depend on the assessment of the Health Department. The DOH has yet to release a statement on the possible banning of water activities, but the agency advises the public to exercise caution when conducting water-related activities like fishing or swimming and to refrain from consuming water from affected areas due to potential health hazards. The public is also advised to avoid consumption of contaminated fish, shellfish, and other seafood products. Despite this, Tourism Secretary Cristina Frasco warned that closing Puerto Galera could result to at least 5.3 million pesos in daily losses. She noted that Puerto Galera contributes no less than 85% of Oriental Mindoro's tourism economy.
So we've all seen the devastation that can be caused by a tourism destination being shut down. So what is critical really right now is the protection not just of life but also of the livelihood of the tourism workers that critically depend on the continuation of the tourism industry.
Citing data from the province, the DOT chief says the impact of the oil spill in Oriental Mindoro's tourism industry has hit at least 900 million pesos. Frasco has earlier joined a scuba diving activity in La Laguna Point, Puerto Galera to show support for the popular tourist spot. She says if water activities will be banned in Puerto Galera, the agency has prepared alternative livelihood trainings for affected locals.
It is an overall approach towards managing the present tourism destination that is not yet affected by the oil spill, as well as assisting the tourism destinations that are already affected by the oil spill, all the while prioritizing life and balancing that with the need to protect livelihood.
Arian Calumbiran, We Are One News.
Not a single Filipino in Taiwan has asked to be repatriated amid tension in the region. Foreign Affairs Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega said they haven't heard of anyone wishing to go home. He noted, though, that contingency measures are in place if Filipinos need to be evacuated. This came after China asked the Philippines to oppose Taiwan's independence if it cared about the OFWs. De Vega said the statement was unnecessary as the country offers friendship to all.
hindi basta-basta uuwi yan. Kasi siyempre gusto nila kumita rin. Kung talagang wala namang gera, tuloy sila magtatrabaho. May mga nag-comment na ano yung mga plano, pero meron ng mga plano for in case kailangan evacuate, pero hindi naman siguro aabot tayo sa sitwasyon.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. The Health Department has released guidelines for the administration of the second booster shot for the general population. Healthy adults age 18 and above may receive their second booster 6 months after their first booster. Meanwhile, immunocompromised adults will have to wait 3 months before receiving their second booster. Health workers age 50 and up and persons with comorbidity may receive their second booster after 3 to 4 months from their first booster dose, depending on the brand. For now, only vaccines from Pfizer, Moderna, and AstraZeneca have been approved for the second booster. Filipinos have to bring their vaccination card and valid IDs to receive their second boosters at local vaccination sites. Those who are immunocompromised and with comorbidities, meanwhile, need to bring their medical certificates. Meanwhile, the Health Department sees no need to reimpose the mandatory wearing of face masks despite the rise in cases in most areas of the country. The agency says vaccinating the general population should be the priority.
terms of returning, no, at ibabalik ang mandate ng MASC, ay wala pa hong napag-uusapan sa ngayon, at sa tingin din po ng kagawaran, ito naman pong ating mga regulasyon ngayon na ipinapatupad, katulad itong voluntary masking, kailangan lamang po talagang patuloy na magpaalala ang kagawaran ng kalusugan na alam dapat ng ating mga kababayan kung kailan dapat sila magsuot ng mask.
In other news, the Army says the General Court Martial of former PSG Chief Jesus Durante is led by the commander of 10th Infantry Division, Jose Ariel Niembra. Speaking to the big story, Army spokesperson Xerxes Trinidad confirmed that Durante, Army official Michael Liquiayo, and 5 others are now under the custody of the 10th Infantry Division. The suspects are currently facing military trial over the murder of Davao-based model Yvonne Plaza last year. Trinidad says he cannot give specific details over the trial's timeline, but he assures the public that the Army will release updates from time to time. Trinidad also clarifies that the court-martial will only focus on administrative charges against Durante and the other accused personnel.
Let us try to first distinguish that this is an administrative case filed against these particular officers and enlisted personnel. Is a different case being filed in the criminal courts for a particular murder case against these officers and enlisted personnel.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.